Welcome back. I see you've decided to tempt your fate yet again here at Boddy Creek Manor. Why don't you go ahead and head on inside, and if you manage to survive the night this time, I'll be back a little bit later to tell you all about this brand new display for 2025.
Happy dark, creepy Halloween to you! Are you excited for the sinister events about to unfold? If not, you are in the wrong place. Halloween always puts me in a frantic mood. I never know what crazy thing I'm going to do. Do.
Right this way, the show's starting. We never dream of starting without you.
You heard it here first, folks. Free sweet treats to all the little boys and girls this Halloween night. I have ice cream flavors to die for. I'm looking for someone to play hide and seek with. You go hide and I'll come find you. I remember when you were little, there were so many things that you were so afraid of. What a little crybaby. I'll find you in your dreams and conjure up some new things to be afraid of.
It looks like you made it through unscathed. Congratulations. It looks like I owe you a behind-the-scenes tour. So let's go ahead and head on in the light of day, and I'll show you some of the details that you might have missed. For instance, the eyeballs. Did you pick up on the eyeball motif as we moved from each of the different areas? In previous years, I've done one cohesive theme throughout the house. Sometimes I break them up with multiple themes like I did this year, and I like to tie them all together. And what better way to introduce you to that theme than this archway that I actually bought in one of my very first years here in the house. I think it was one of my very first archways, as a matter of fact. And look where that's led to. Now I use them everywhere all the time. I have so many. But this one has just been used that one year, and I kept it in storage for so long. And when I was working on my theme this year, it kind of popped in my head, like, why don't I use that as the introduction to the display? And I think it works great. But let's go on in. I also like to do different wreaths each year. It was hard to find something that was circus related, so I just did a simple Halloween themed wreath, and it's tying together spiders, which we're going to see outside in the outside walkthrough. And that'll transition us to the inside display, where when we open the door, we see a ticket booth. Because if you're going to come to my Carnevil, you're going to need a ticket. We had our jester up here. He was welcoming us to the display, if you remember. And as we make our way down, we have two different clowns here. They seem to say the same phrases, though, so I left him off, though he does work and speak. He's just a little static and boring. And then we have our ticket taker here. Did you notice all of the tickets? So they say, full circus ticket, and that ticket actually wraps all the way around the staircase and brings it into the display. And then, of course, advertisements for the circus are making their way up the stairs. We've got 6 different carnival banners coming up the staircase here. I was a little concerned when I decided to do a carnival inside the house, how I was going to find decor to sort of fill in the display. I have done clowns once before. It was outside, so all of these animatronic clowns I've used in a previous display, but we had to find all of these items, and it was rather difficult finding them in traditional stores, so we used Amazon, of course, where you can find anything. As we pan over, you can see I have a staging area upstairs, but in the darkness, I don't think we could see that in the video. We have our clowns overlooking the balcony here, and our Pennywise makes a second appearance in the display here in the artwork over the fireplace. Very simple to do, very dramatic. And as we make our way down, you can kind of get an overview of what the living room looks like here in the daylight. I did manage to find some circus-themed art for the frame TV here in the living room. We have a few more in the kitchen, and I like to coordinate all the artwork to the themes. And here we have an elephant rider in a ring of a circus. Standing here next to our free ice cream clown, and some of our glow-in-the-black light artwork of clowns. Behind him, I've got a few of those around the living room. I used them in my clown display in a previous year as well. So here on the side table, we have our Cotton Candace. She spins around and screams, and I love the way she looks. She is so scary and demented, and she's clearly terrified of these clowns. And why wouldn't she? Because these clowns are here to collect your eyeballs. That's why I have them spilling out of these popcorn buckets that you're going to see around the display. And those are attracting the rats. So if there's one prop I bought in mass this year, it was the plastic rats. You can see them here on the coffee table. I also purchased these candles new this year. It kind of helps give the display just a little bit more life. And these boxes, I especially like this one that says "Welcome to the Carnival" right here that you can see from the door when you walk in. These boxes were a great way to really fill in the scene. We've got one there on the side table and a couple there on the hearth as well, because I was concerned what was I going to use to fill in the display, but these do quite a good job. As I said, the eyeballs are attracting the rats. And here we have our 2-headed rat animatronic. He is, of course, a mutant. And right outside our living room window, we're going to have our mutant spiders and our toxic waste barrels, because It's that toxic waste that is causing all of this nightmare. As we make our way up the mantle, you can see my display this year. I'm sure this guy moves and does something. I forgot to turn him on for the display. And then of course we have our circus sign. It lights up as well, just gives a little bit more atmosphere. My banner is falling down behind it, and my step right up that I painted to match my ticket booth for my outside display. Now off on the side here, you're going to see our skulls. Now I used these originally as my skulls in a Day of the Dead display, and then we used them last year in the same location, which I didn't want to do again, but I really kind of like the way it looks, as just for my witches. They collected skulls as well. As you can see, some of these have eyeballs as noses. My original concept was to add clown noses to all of these skulls, but that was going to be a lot of work. So then I was going to make them eyeballs, and then I realized it kind of looks a little terrible, so I abandoned that, but I left a few of them on there just to kind of, if you think about it, you can say the clowns are trying to collect the eyeballs because they use them as clown noses. I think the only other thing I purchased this year for the display would be the pillowcases. They are red and white stripes to give the impression of a circus tent. I thought it fit the theme pretty well. As we make our way into the back hallway, we have our man-eating plant here. It doesn't quite fit with the circus theme, but I really like the way that he sits here, and I added an eyeball to this skull planter, and I think that looks amazing as well. Another clown piece of artwork. We're going to see a few more of those there down the hallway, but first, let's take a look at the downstairs. As you pass the stairway here, of course, we have Pennywise lurking up the back stairs. Now, I could not, for some reason, get him to work this year. He just seems to have completely died, and I'm not sure why. I never left him outside. He's always been an indoor prop. He just doesn't want to work anymore, which is a shame because he's very creepy. Behind him, we have my You'll Float 2 sign and Georgie's boat. If you want a more detailed look at this display, I did do a decorate with me on this. We have our rats along the side, our missing children poster, lots of them. And then on the floor there would be my slime, my glow-in-the-dark slime. In the black light, it looked so good, but it does not want to stay up. I managed to keep it up for a few seconds for the filming, and then it just promptly wanted to fall right back down. I did buy Georgie here this year. He was a new animatronic because I've always wanted my Georgie and Pennywise display, but now I'm going to need to buy a new Pennywise. The rats have come up from the sewers where Pennywise lives. You can see them along the ledge, up the stairs, and of course, they've made their way into the clown area to eat the eyeballs. And now we're going to take a look at our Medusa-themed bathroom. So we have our clowns here in the artwork down the hallway with the glowing eyes. Again, very distinctive eyes. Originally, I wanted to make them look like they were turned to stone, as if Medusa here in the bathroom had done that to them. But I couldn't get the artwork to look right, so I just like the way they look now with the eyes. So I also did a decorate with me just the other day for Medusa here, and the Medusa-themed bathroom, so we're not going to do another full walkthrough of the display, but here in the black light, you can see how it glows. I really love this giant image of the snake, because of course it's Medusa. And she has snakes in her hair, and those snakes have appeared everywhere in the room and the display, even coming out of the toilets. I think in our walkthrough here we didn't see, but we even have eyeballs here on the towels. Next up, let's take a look at the kitchen and dining area. So for my Halloween party, this is where the guests will be coming, the adult guests, to get their beverages, which I've got here on the table with our new friends, our demons here. I got these from Home Depot. I actually bought one on Facebook Marketplace this year. I bought it in the off season, and I paid $75 for it. And then I saw them for sale at Home Depot this year for $40. So be cautious about what you buy on Facebook Marketplace. I also bought some artwork for the Frame TV. Usually we will come up with something for the TV. And I have mentioned using ChatGPT to make artwork, and I did a few of those designs for the TVs. And the comments are never kind when I mention that. Everyone's always saying, pay for your art, buy it from a real artist. So that's what I did. I bought my art this year, so you should all be very proud of me. Here's my unwelcome sign that I did when I did a vampire display years ago outside in the garage. So it's supposed to glow under black light. What I wanted to do is actually have this in the stairway vestibule under the black light so it would glow, but it was slightly too big. So we've added some bats to it because originally, instead of demons, I was going to have bats and vampires in this room, but I like the demons a little bit better, or my fallen angels as I like to think of them. So the bats actually will light up. They have little puck lights behind them that will glow. And I use a remote control to turn those on. I also have those candles that we saw in the living room are all remote control activated. It saves so much time turning candles on and off. I love it. So we have our third demon here. He's got his green pumpkin, but see what he's serving on the plates? If you've come to dine with him, you're going to be dining on the eyeballs. I love these glass pumpkins here. They light up, and I bought those because I just thought they were stunning. They kind of work pretty well on these glow-in-the-dark candelabras as well. I like the look of that. My demon here, I really thought I was going to have to build him a stand so he would stand up properly, but I did not have to do that, thankfully, because I'm so tired of working on projects. He stands up pretty well on his own and will just be supported there on the counter. On the back wall, actually, there, while we're here, let's take a look. It is more artwork that, yes, I paid for. And it was the first time I bought artwork on Etsy, and I like it, but they first sent me Mickey Mouse instead of the demon sort of fallen angel guy that I've ordered here. And I don't think Mickey Mouse would have given the same impression. We also have our skeleton bat, who actually came skeleton colored, and I painted him black just to kind of go with the color scheme here in the room, which is primarily blacks and grays. And then we have some purple, like the bat outside that blinks. If you could see that in the outside window. I usually have problems when I put things out there. I always want something framed in this window, but it's always so hard to see at night because the glass is reflective. This time with the bright blinking bat, that wasn't a problem. On the back of the counter here, we have more of those bats that glow. And then we have, of course, our happy haunting, like and subscribe sign. So if you haven't done so, take the opportunity now. And then lastly, for this walkthrough, we have our back stairs, which I also did another decorate with me. And look, these boards are falling down. I don't know why when I tape things up. I think it's the glossy paint. I don't know. It never wants to stay up. So that's a problem, especially when I use it on Halloween for my party. I'm always keeping an eye to make sure things don't fall down. If it did, though, you'd see it on the floor next to my stacked skulls, which we didn't see in the video. And then the stairway where we have our illusionist man behind the ravens. So we have ravens all up the stairs in the artwork, which again, I made this year. Check out that Decorate With Me video. And the ravens have eaten his eyes. Look at that. So we have this large raven with the eyeball that he's taken out of the illusionist's face. And then all down the stairs, we have various skulls and ravens. Those murderous, murderous ravens. So what did you think of our 2025 display for Boddy Creek Manor? As I pointed out, I do like to try and do something different inside every year. So I think this year was a bit of a challenge. I had some setbacks, but I really like the way it turned out. I'd love to hear your comments below. Also, we have our outdoor walkthrough coming up very soon, so you're going to want to stay tuned for that. Before we go, I did want to say a special thank you to all the patrons who help support the channel. If you're interested in joining our Fright Club, be sure to check out a link to my Patreon page in the description below. That's going to do it for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. Till next time, take care and happy haunting.